3 weeks ago, a guy rolled a 2019 Toyota Camry into my shop on a flatbed. The engine seized completely. 63,000 miles on the clock. This car should have had another 200,000 miles left in it, easy. When I pulled the valve cover and saw what was inside, I felt genuinely sick. And when I asked him about the warning light on his dashboard, he said the same thing I hear every single time. He said he was going to get it checked next week. Hi, my name is Alex, and this is Japanese Car Garage. What the warning light actually means. Here's the problem. Most drivers look at a dashboard warning light and think one of two things. Either the car is about to explode, or it is nothing. There is no middle ground in their heads. And that binary thinking is exactly what gets engines killed. Let me be very specific about the oil pressure warning light, because this is the one that destroyed Dennis's Camry, and it is the one I want to start with. That little red oil can symbol is not telling you that your oil is low. I cannot stress this enough. It is not a low oil level warning. It is telling you that oil pressure has dropped below the minimum threshold required to properly lubricate your engine internal components. Those are two completely different problems with two completely different levels of urgency. Low oil level is a yellow flag. Low oil pressure is a red flag. A waving, screaming, pull over right now, red flag. When that light comes on, your engine bearings, camshaft lobes, and timing chain components are receiving inadequate lubrication at that exact moment. Every second you keep driving is measurable wear. Every mile you add is potentially catastrophic damage. Japanese engineers designed this light to trigger before the damage becomes irreversible. They gave you a window. But that window is measured in minutes, not days. Not 11 days, Dennis. Why Japanese engineers designed it this way? I visited a Toyota supplier facility in 2019, and one of the engineers there explained something to me that completely changed how I explain warning lights to customers. He said that every warning light in a Japanese car represents a threshold, not a suggestion. Below that threshold, the engineering team determined that component damage is either occurring or imminent. They did not design these lights for convenience. They designed them as a last line of defense. Here is what that means in practice. By the time a warning light illuminates on your dashboard, the car onboard systems have already detected an anomaly, evaluated it against programmed parameters, confirmed it is not a sensor spike or a temporary fluctuation, and decided the situation is serious enough to alert you. These are not hair trigger systems. They are conservative by design. So when a light comes on in a Toyota, Honda, Lexus, or Subaru, that car is not crying wolf. It has already been patient. It already waited. Now it is telling you. And in Japan, drivers respond immediately. I asked that same engineer what the average Japanese driver does when a warning light comes on. He said they pull over and call their dealer within the hour. Not next week. Within the hour. That is the culture gap that is destroying engines nationwide. The 5 warning lights you must never ignore. Number 1. The oil pressure warning light. We already talked about Dennis, but I want to go deeper here, because this light has a behavior pattern that tricks people constantly. On most Toyotas and Hondas, the oil pressure light will flicker during cold starts and disappear within 30 to 60 seconds. Most owners see this and assume the system is just warming up. Sometimes that is true, but here is what the flicker actually means in a high-mileage engine. Your oil pump is working harder than it should to build adequate pressure. The internal clearances in your bearings have widened from wear, and the pump is compensating. That flicker is your engine telling you the margin is getting thin. If you see the oil pressure light flicker consistently on cold starts for more than 2 or 3 consecutive mornings, that is not a sensor issue. That is a diagnosis. Get it to a mechanic immediately. If the light comes on solid while you are driving, pull over. Turn off the engine. Do not restart it. Call for a tow. I do not care if you are on the highway. I do not care if you are late. Number 2. The coolant temperature warning light. This one gets ignored almost as often as the oil pressure light, and it is just as destructive. Here is what most people do not understand. Your temperature gauge is designed to look calm. Toyota and Honda engineers deliberately program the gauge to sit in the middle across a wide range of actual temperatures, anywhere from 175 to 220 degrees Fahrenheit. That needle barely moves. So when the coolant temperature warning light comes on, your engine has already blown past the normal operating range significantly. You are in overheating territory. Here is the damage that starts the moment you ignore it. Aluminum cylinder heads warp. Head gaskets fail. Coolant enters the combustion chamber. On Subaru EJ series engines, which are already prone to head gasket issues, ignoring this light even briefly can turn a $400 cooling system repair into a $2,500 head gasket job. Pull over. Turn off the engine. Let it cool for at least 45 minutes before even opening the hood. And for the love of everything mechanical, do not open a hot radiator cap. I have seen some bad days in this shop. That is a bad day. Number 3. The battery and charging system warning light. Most people see this light and think, okay, my battery is getting old. I will replace it next month. Wrong diagnosis. Wrong timeline. The battery warning light in a modern Japanese car is not primarily monitoring battery health. It is monitoring your charging system. Specifically, it is telling you that your alternator is not maintaining adequate voltage output to keep the battery charged and to power your vehicle electronics. Here is why this matters beyond just getting stranded. Modern Toyotas, Hondas, and Lexus vehicles have engine management systems, variable valve timing controls, and fuel injection systems that depend on stable voltage. When the alternator starts failing, voltage drops. When voltage drops, these systems start behaving erratically. Fuel trims go off. Ignition timing gets thrown. Variable valve timing solenoids do not operate correctly. You are not just risking a dead battery, you are risking cascading damage to engine management components. Get your charging system tested immediately. Most auto parts stores will do it free. Do not wait. Number 4. The check engine light, when it flashes. I know what you're thinking. Everybody knows about the check engine light, Alex. Here's what everybody doesn't know. There is a critical difference between a solid check engine light and a flashing check engine light. A solid check engine light means a fault has been detected. It could be anything from a loose gas cap to a failing oxygen sensor. Urgent, but not always immediately catastrophic. A flashing check engine light means active misfires are occurring right now, severe enough to damage your catalytic converter. On a Toyota or Honda, a flashing check engine light while driving means pull over as soon as it is safely possible. Do not continue driving at highway speed. Do not assume it will stop. Active misfires dump raw fuel into your exhaust system. Catalytic converters operate at temperatures around 1,400 degrees Fahrenheit. Raw fuel hitting that heat can destroy a catalytic converter in under a mile of driving. A new catalytic converter on a Lexus ES350 can cost $1,200 to $1,600. Pull over, get it diagnosed. Same day. Number 5. The oil temperature warning light. This one is specific to certain Toyota four-wheel drive models, Lexus GX, Land Cruiser, and Tacoma trim levels, and almost nobody knows what it means. It looks similar to the oil pressure light, but it specifically monitors oil temperature, not pressure. This light activates when oil temperature climbs high enough that the oil viscosity has degraded to the point of reduced protective capability. You typically see this when towing on a hot day, during extended low-speed off-road driving, or when climbing long grades in summer heat. Here is the Japanese engineering truth behind this light. Oil viscosity is everything. When oil gets too hot, it gets too thin. Too thin means it is not maintaining the protective film between metal surfaces. If this light comes on while you are towing, Reduce your load if possible. Pull over and let the engine idle for 5 minutes to allow the oil cooler to catch up. Then reassess. This light is not common, which is exactly why most people have no idea what it means when they see it. What dealerships do not tell you. Here is something that bothers me, and I'm just going to say it. Dealership service advisors are not engineers. They are salespeople with service quotas. I have had customers come in after visiting a dealership with an active warning light, and the service advisor told them it was probably just a sensor and booked them for an appointment 3 weeks out. 3 weeks with an active warning light. That advice cost one of my customers a complete engine replacement. Dealerships make significantly more money replacing engines and transmissions than they do catching problems early. I am not saying they are evil. I am saying their financial incentives do not always align with your best interests. Educate yourself. Know what these lights mean. Because when you are sitting in that service waiting room, the best advocate for your engine is you. The Japanese response protocol. Here is exactly what to do the moment a warning light comes on. I call this the Japanese response protocol because it mirrors what I was taught by Japanese mechanics, and it is the opposite of what most American drivers do. Step 1. Do not panic and do not dismiss it. Acknowledge it immediately. Step 2. If it is a red warning light, specifically oil pressure, coolant temperature, or brake system, pull over as soon as it is safely possible. Red lights are stop the car warnings. Step 3. If it is a yellow or amber light, note when it came on, what you were doing, and whether it stays on or flickers. Drive directly to a mechanic or to an auto parts store for a diagnostic scan. Do not continue your normal driving routine. Step 4. Buy a basic OBD2 scanner, $25 on Amazon. Keep it in your glove box. When a check engine light comes on, you can pull your own codes before anyone tries to sell you something you do not need. Step 5. Document everything. When did the light come on? What was the mileage? What were the conditions? This information is invaluable to a mechanic, and it takes 30 seconds to note in your phone. The Japanese approach to warning lights is the same as their approach to maintenance overall. Respond early, respond correctly, and the car rewards you with longevity. The real cost of ignoring these warnings. Let me give you the numbers, because I think in numbers. Oil pressure light ignored for 11 days. Dennis's engine replacement, $6,400. Coolant temperature light ignored for 1 drive. Head gasket replacement on a Subaru EJ25, $2,800. Flashing check engine light ignored for 50 miles. Catalytic converter replacement on a Lexus, $1,400. Charging system light ignored for 2 weeks. Engine management module damaged by voltage fluctuation, $1,100. Every single one of those repairs started with a warning light and a driver who thought next week was soon enough. The warning lights in your Japanese car are not suggestions. They are engineering communication. Your car is talking to you. The only question is whether you're listening. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this. Japanese engineers designed every warning light in your Toyota, Honda, Lexus, or Subaru with a specific purpose and a specific threshold. They are not oversensitive. They are not dramatic. They are precise. When that light comes on, your car has already done the patient waiting. Now it needs you to act. Don't be Dennis. If you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe to Japanese Car Garage. I've got a video coming up on the exact maintenance schedule Japanese mechanics use to get their Toyotas past 500,000 miles. You don't want to miss that one. I'll see you there.